name is Sarah. Welcome to the It's a Sarah podcast. Today it is Monday, January 8th, 2024, and this is episode 122. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I make my episodes in Dutch and in English, so be sure you pick the right one. Okay, let's dive in. It's been a while. The Mondays were filled with Christmas and New Year, so there was a little break for me. But I am so looking forward to tell you all about my handwerk perikelen, about my crafty adventures from last week's. But let me start with wishing you all the good and all the best for this brand new year. I hope it will be filled with a lot of heart-jumping moments, especially when we are talking about knitting and crochet. I had my first heart-jumping moment already, so it's really fun, and I hope you will have them too, or already have had them. Oh gosh, there we go again with the English. I have a lot to share. I have some finished objects, and I have some new yarn. I have a new work in progress, all the different things. It is my plan to not tell you all about all, because it would be this episode would be too long, but I just filmed the Dutch episode and it was still way too long. But I just can't talk short, I guess. It's not my talent. Keep it short is not my talent. I don't want to be that as to be my talent. It's not important. I love talking, but maybe it will be a long one. I have a very special news. Now I have something new on my YouTube channel which might be interesting for you, but I will tell it at the end of the episode, so you have to watch all the episodes or scroll to the end if you are curious. Okay, let's start with what I'm wearing. Let's start with a finished object which is very special to me. It's hanging there. I will not show it today. I am also not wearing it, but it was really a big heart-jumping moment for me because I finished my Hinterland dress. Oh boy, it was such a hard job, especially mentally, I guess. The sewing was not, it's filled with imperfections, so there are a lot of mistakes in it, but it was such a big struggle with my Miss Perfect, and I won because the dress is hanging there and I did wear it on Christmas Day, and in the Netherlands we also celebrate second Christmas Day, so also on second Christmas Day, and I did wear it a lot. But I want to keep my talking about the dress for another episode. It is quite cold in the Netherlands today. We are living next to the sea. We have a sea climate, so it's never really cold in the Netherlands. But now it's around 0 degrees and there was a little bit of snow and it's freezing. And the dress is made of thin linen, and it's okay to wear in winter, but I also have thick linen dresses, and this morning I really wanted to wear one of these ones. I didn't make this one myself. My knitting friend Jessica made 2 Hinterland dresses for me, and it's a little bit warmer, so I will keep it maybe for next week, I hope. But I really wanted to let you know that I'm so happy because I finished the Hinterland dress, and I will make another one. Yeah, I will, because I learned so much and I will do it better. Yeah. Okay. So let's start with what I'm wearing. Let's start on top because I'm wearing a headband, and I always am wearing a headband. This is I still didn't make myself a new one. This is my braided cabled ear warmer by Jessica Kalwei, and I am also wearing my shawl. I'm also always wearing a shawl inside these days because it's really warm around the neck, and although it's not really cold in the Netherlands, it is always cold in our house. We don't use the heating so much. We have a fireplace. We have a fireplace in which we burn wood. But we don't want to burn too much wood, so we usually light the fireplace. I'm saying we, but it's always my husband. I can't make a fire. I'm really a helpless woman. I did try once a few weeks ago, and it didn't work out. And yeah, I'm also a bit lazy. I'm a bit, how do you say it? A bit spoiled by my husband. He always makes good fires for us. But we put it on at the end of the day. So during the day it's quite cold in our house, but that's not a problem because I'm a knitter. So I have all the woolly stuff I can put on, and I am never cold. So I always wear a shawl, and that's really nice. But I will show it to you. It's a finished object from not so long ago. This is the back side. I really love it when shawls are having a good right side and a good wrong side. I don't like shawls with a messy back side. So this is the right side. This is my Skymning shawl from Sofia, and I forgot her last name. I will put a picture in here. But Sofia's Tales, she is called on Instagram and YouTube. And it is really a lovely pattern. This is my second version, and I love the colors, and I really love wearing it. And it's not a thick shawl, but it's really a lovely warm woolly layer I can use all the time. I told everything about it a few weeks ago, I guess, and I also have a Ravelry page of it. Okay, then my latest finished object, and the very hard jumping one, this was definitely a hard jumping moment, is my Festive Yoke pullover. I can't see myself on screen, so I have to do a sneak peek in the mirror. I think it's all looking good. But this is my Christmas sweater, or actually it is not really a Christmas sweater anymore. It's more a winter sweater. But I really wanted to knit a Christmas sweater this year. I already made one 2 years ago. I told you all about it a few episodes ago. I really love the colors. I had my doubts about the yarn, and I really wanted to make another version in Rauma Vinyl. So I did. This is knit in Rauma Vinyl. Let me check the colors because I have quite some left. It is the color moss green and a bit of off-white. Excuse for the crinkle. Moss green is 486 and off-white is 401. And I bought this in a Dutch yarn shop in Friesland in the north of the Netherlands when we were on holiday last summer. And I visited the yarn shop, a lovely yarn shop, Seldensa, with some knitting friends, and it was a lovely moment, a lovely memory. I always love the idea of memories in your sweater, the moment when you knit on it, but also the moment when you bought the yarn. So that's really an extra little bit of warmth in the garment. But I really love the color combination, and it was my plan to make a cardigan, but it didn't happen. It was also the biggest challenge for me was not finishing it before Christmas. With my other Christmas sweater, the challenge was finish it before Christmas, and I knitted an all over colorwork sweater in 2 weeks, and that was quite a challenge. But it also took all of my time, and I didn't want that this year. But I also know that when I'm starting such a project, and when it's how do you say? I'm a knitting addict. We all are, I guess. But as a knitting addict, when it takes me the project, and I only want to knit on it, and I forgot all the things around me. But it's also the time to be cozy with your family and do some preparations. And I really want to left some time for that. So I really wanted to knit a festive sweater in the festive weeks before Christmas, but only easy peasy and slow, and not that it would not take all my time. it was my plan to make a cardigan, but I did make a sweater of it, and it had several reasons. A little voice in my head said, when you are making a sweater, you don't have to stick, and maybe you will finish it before Christmas. And it was only a little voice, but it was still there. But the main reason was that I did fit the sweater of my youngest girl. She knitted a sweater her own. I didn't show it on the podcast, I guess. But she knit, my 14-year-old girl knit herself a sweater. I'm such a proud mom. it's such a beautiful sweater. But when I was blocking it for her, I looked at it and it was dry, and I thought I can fit in too. It's also my size. She loves to wear a little bit oversized sweaters, but I thought I can fit in too. So I did put on the sweater, and it gave me such a surprising feeling, because this sweater was a beautiful sweater, but I would never choose that for myself. It was a bit of an oversized sweater with I don't know the name. It was not a turtleneck, a half turtleneck, I guess, a little bit half, and the yarn was not, it was not a yarn I would buy, and it was light gray. It's not a color I would choose for myself. But it was lovely on her. But when I put it on, I was overwhelmed by such positive feeling. It was like a big warm woolly hug, and it was all around me, and the fit was nice, and the feeling was nice, and especially this feeling was nice around my neck. And I was most surprised by that, because I really hate it when necklines are high. I don't like it. I want some air here. I love lower necklines, and I was so overwhelmed by the positive feeling of a high neckline around my neck. It was so cozy and warm, and I really thought I need such a sweater in my own life too. So that was really confusing. But in the same time, I was casting on this sweater. So I thought, maybe I can do a high neckline. I love to knit round yokes, and I really love the look of it. And I also, high on my making list is the Otra cardigan. It's also a sticked colorworked cardigan. And I didn't know if I wanted to stick 2 times in such a short period. So I thought, okay, let me cast on the pullover instead of the cardigan. So I did. I did knit a double brim, a double collar. That's not in a pattern, but I am really happy with it, because now it stands up a little bit. I just knit the double amount of centimeters the pattern says, and then I folded double, and I picked up the casting on bottom. Do you say it like that? You can do it by hand, but I really love to do it knitting, because it's all matching. Every stitch is matching, and it also looks very nice when you are knitting. So I did do that, and I really love the look of it. And also wearing it, I did block my cardigan, my sweater, my pullover, I have to say. Did I say it's the Festive Yoke pullover from Ellie from Skeindeer Knits? I'm sorry if I didn't. The designer deserves the credits always, but certainly Ellie, because it's such a nice pattern. But I did block it super fast in front of the fireplace, so I could wear it yesterday, because wearing it for a day gives you a little bit of the wearing experience, and I wanted to share that today with you. But I did need the experience. So I'm still not a high neckline lover. Especially when I'm wearing a cardigan or a jacket over it, it feels so busy around my neck. And also when I'm putting my arms up and then down, it always is a bit standing up. And I was thinking, why is that? Maybe I did knit it too short, too small. I don't know. It is meant to be fitted, and I love to wear my sweaters fitted. Because I always wear them on dresses, and when I make oversized sweaters on dresses, I don't know, I look weird, because I'm a small person and I love to wear white dresses and skirts, and when my sweaters are also white, I don't know, That's looking weird. It's not what I want. I would wear an oversized sweater on jeans, I guess, but I don't wear jeans. so I don't need oversized sweaters. But I think I'm okay with it. I have some nice patterns in my library for rounded colorwork yokes. I prefer a cardigan. I prefer low necklines, but every now and then I can wear this. And yeah, it's especially because it's now quite cold. It is nice and warm, but it's not my favorite. Not to wear. It is, I really love to knit it. That's really nice. As you can see, I have chosen to repeat the same chart all over. That's not what the pattern says. The pattern says do what you want. It's really nice. Ellie made 3 patterns in this series: the pullover, the cardigan, and a child size pullover. I have all 3 of them right now because I really love the idea that you can play with little charts. The pattern brings, I don't know, 15, 20 little charts you can choose from. And you can play. You can choose only to do the yoke with the charts and do plain body and plain sleeves. You can choose all over. You can choose all the different charts, the different... I want to say, in Dutch we say plaatjes, the different objects. In my previous festive pullover, I did start with these 2, and I had little hearts and reindeers and little trees, snowflakes, Christmas stars. And I was thinking about which charts I would choose for this sweater, and I thought, oh, maybe I just want to do the same because I really love those charts. And then when I was making a video for my Instagram subscription, I make live videos for in Dutch for the people there. And then I was talking about it, and suddenly the idea was there to repeat the same chart all over. And I thought, oh, maybe that's nice. And one of my knitting friends is making an all-over heart sweater with little hearts. A heart-jumping sweater, literally. I don't know if I wanted a heart sweater for myself. I was thinking about it for my little niece. But I think she inspired me to repeat the same chart over and over again. And I was a little bit afraid it would be boring, but it was instead of boring. No, it was the opposite of boring. It was very relaxing and very, I don't know, it was very nice. And at the end, I could knit it by hand. I didn't need a chart anymore. I did make a mistake in this round. I added an extra round, but I only discovered when I was too far to rip it out. And I was thinking, is it bothering me? No, actually not. It's not bothering me. It's... I don't know. I actually quite like it. It's quite special that my Miss Perfect is not complaining about this mistake. I think she is still tired from the Hinterland dress. She's totally I don't know, recovering. She hadn't enough energy to get involved by the process of deciding if we are okay with this or not. So it's very nice to me. And yeah, I'm really happy. I made it cropped because I like to wear it on my dresses. And I did knit the ribbing at the bottom several times because I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't happy with how it turned out. It was my plan to make a big ribbing, but it wasn't looking nice. The difference between the thicker fabric, because you knit with 2 strands, and the single strand ribbing was too big. And then I tried several things, but at the end I did some decreases and I knitted some rounds, and now I'm satisfied. I'm happy with how it turned out. The only thing I'm not really happy, it's not a big thing, but the sleeves. I was doubting. The pattern tells you to decrease, so you create a tapered sleeve. I was knitting this together with some other people, and there were some people who didn't do the decreases during the sleeve, but only do all the decreases at the end. So you create a little bit of a balloon sleeve. It's actually a straight sleeve, and because of the decreases here, there's a balloon effect. And I quite like the idea. The problem with the decreases is that the motif at the beginning of your round and at the end of the round disappears. It's not balanced anymore because you do the decreases, so you don't have enough stitches anymore. And it was not a problem in my previous sweater. It is down your underarm. It's not very obvious, I guess you say it like that. So I don't know, but I like to see the pictures with the balloony sleeve effect. The only thing is, when I made it myself and I put it on the table and I made it flat, and you could really see the lovely balloon effect, but when my arm is in the sleeve, the effect disappears. I thought it's a little bit festive, a little bit feminine. Maybe I like it, but the effect is not really. I did try it before at a cardigan, and I was also not very happy with how that turned out, but I thought it had to do with the length of the ribbing. But now I guess I'm quite sure that it's just I'm not a balloony sleeve person. I guess that's it. I'm more a tapered sleeve person, but it's not bothering me so much that I want to rip it out and reknit it. Absolutely not. But it's just, I know now. I did my sleeves are 80 rounds, and I did decrease every 2 stitches. I knit together every 2 stitches the last round, so my ribbing is 40 stitches. 80 stitches, 40 stitches. I always go up 1 needle size for the sleeves. I knitted my collar work in 3mm needles, and I did my sleeves in 3.25mm needles, and I had a little bit doubt if that was enough difference, because I could see the difference when you are knitting a small that word is too hard for me. Circumference. Yes, that was it. Circumference. I can say it. Well, yeah, I want to try it in a sentence. Okay, when you have a smaller circumference, your stitch gauge can be influenced by that. So, and in my case, I learned that from the videos from Andrea Maury. In my case, that's really in my knitting, that's really the case. That's really happening. So I really love that tip from her. So the difference was a little bit too small, and I measured it, and the width of the pattern was the same, only the length was different, but it was okay. It was not a problem. So this is my festive yoke. I'm very, very, very happy with this one. I really will wear it a lot coming weeks, I guess. I really love the motif, the little flowers. I think they are red in real life. I don't know if they're also existing in white. I don't know, but I love the color combination, and I'm quite sure this is not my last festive knitting. I really want a festive cardigan. Still, I want it, so maybe next year. And I also want to knit something festive for my little niece. I really love the idea of the jumper filled with hearts, heart jumping sweater. Maybe I need a heart jumping thing in my life. I thought it's not really my thing, but a heart jumping cardigan. How could I not want it? Maybe I want a heart jumping cardigan. That's a nice idea. Okay, we will think about that. But I really love this pattern and the possibilities. I think you can even design your own charts if you want to. You just have the recipe for a beautiful fitted cardigan or jumper, or child's children's jumper, and I really love to play with it. So lovely pattern, lovely knitting, and I'm also very happy that it's done, that it's finished. It felt like I was knitting on it forever, and it was growing very slow. But when I checked my notes, I started on December 3 and I finished it on January 6th. And I did a lot of knitting in between, other knitting. So it was not a long process at all. So it's really interesting how things can be different in your mind than in reality. So what are you complaining? And it was very important for me to finish it quite soon after Christmas, because I didn't want to save it for next year, because I'm a bit afraid that my stitch gauge will change in a year. I don't know if that is the case, but I would be very upset if it was, if you could see the difference very good. And also I really want to wear the sweater, because it's maybe it's a little bit Christmassy, but not too Christmassy to wear in January and February. So very happy with it, very, very happy. Okay, I have another finished object, and I'm not sure if I showed them in my latest episode. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. So I'm sorry if I did, but I will keep it short. These are the my newest pair of do you say handwarmers in English? The pattern is called Marleen's Mittens, and Marleen is one of my Dutch knitting friends. She's also having a podcast in Dutch and in English. Sunny Sea Knits. She's living next to the sea, and she's also designing a little bit. I think she is at the start of her designing adventure, and she designed this pair of fingerless mittens. That's the word in English, fingerless mittens. In Dutch we call it handwarmers. It also sounds logic in English, so yeah, I think so. They keep my hands warm. I test knitted them for her, the pattern for her, and it's really, really lovely. They are lovely to wear. It's a DK weight pattern. I used, let me see if I can say it by head. I used the Spanish yarn, La Madrid Lana from De Lana. And there is a new yarn shop in the Netherlands. It's called Wool from the South, Wool uit het Zuiden. And it's from Antonita. And Antonita lived in Spain, in Portugal, one of those, I'm not sure. And she really fell in love with this Portuguese and Spanish yarn. And she started, she moved to the Netherlands, back to the Netherlands, and she started a web shop with all those lovely, beautiful yarns. And she sent me some skeins to try. And one of the skeins was this lovely brown. It's color 8. I remember it because I just filmed my Dutch episode. I don't know it all by head. But this lovely skein, and I held it double, and it creates the most fantastic fabric. And I really want to make a garment in it. I'm quite sure. It's feeling so nice. I'm so absolutely surprised every time again by the different feelings yarn can give you. And the most I don't know the word for it. The most pure yarns, it's not really what I want to say, but I think you understand what it is. Non-superwash yarns, there are not used any chemicals or whatever, what kind of process they didn't do on non-superwash yarns. It's a little bit of the soul of the sheep, but the soul of the yarn is still in it. And when yarn is superwashed, it's different. Superwashed yarn misses a little bit of a big bit, big part of that soul. And I can't catch the feeling in words, not even in Dutch, so absolutely not in English. But it's such a special feeling that some yarns give me. It's really hard jumping. A warm woolly layer, and I'm really happy with this yarn. The pattern is available in Dutch and in English on Ravelry, and she also describes how you can fade your different colors, so it's perfect for scrap yarn. You can use sock yarn too, fingering weight, held double. You can do everything you like, and it's really quick knit, so perfect for gift knitting too. And I will definitely do some gift knitting for some friends, I guess, or family, because they are really nice and warm. It was my plan to embroider a little woolly tattoo on it, but I didn't do it. I want to show you this one. These are quite old yet. These are my mittens. These are the world's simplest mittens by Tin Can Knits, a free pattern, and I knit them in Elephos Lopi a few years ago, and I wear them. And because it was so cold this morning, I wear them both. So I had a double woolly layer, and that was really, it was perfect. I was walking in the woods with my dog, so I don't know if I was on my bike, if it would be, the fingers only have one layer, so I don't know if that would be enough. But it made me think the World's Simplest Mittens are also, that pattern also describes the options for different yarn weights, also for fingering weight. So I thought maybe I can, I do have some yarn left. Maybe I can make fingering weight mittens as an extra layer for under these, maybe. But it's not cold enough for a long period to really want that. But it is on my knitting list on the bottom, at the bottom. But I really can recommend this pattern. It's easy peasy. It's really easy, but really lovely to wear. So I'm happy with those. Okay, another finished object, it's not really finished, are those Christmas socks. I didn't knit these socks myself. I don't know if I showed them before in the episode, but last September I was at a knitting market and there was someone with a knitting machine. Do you say it in English? A sock knitting machine? A very vintage one, a very old one. And it was so interesting to see how it works, and you create within a minute, not in a minute, in a few minutes, the most beautiful sock tubes. And there was a lovely lady sitting behind the knitting machine, and she said, do you want to make me some socks for you? And I had a basket with yarn scraps for in my scrappy blanket, and this was the biggest yarn ball. It was not my plan to make socks of it, but just use it for my granny stripes blanket. I had a lot of Langyarn sock yarn from the time I worked for them, and this was one of them. I have no idea which one, which colorway or whatever, but she made a sock tube for me, and a few weeks ago I cut it in half. Now I began with the toes. I knitted toes at the end, and I love the Christmassy color combination. So I thought this would be a little bit of Christmas socks. So I knitted the toes and I knitted the cuffs. And now I will save these socks for next year. They will go in my knitting, in my present basket, in my gift knitting basket. It's not existing. My first finished object for the gift knitting basket I gave away. It was the classic ribbed hat by Pearl Soho. I want to fit it on my father's head because he has quite a big head, and I wanted to know if the size was good. And he put it on and he said, "Oh, this is so lovely. I want his head so badly." No, that's not how you say it, I guess. He really wanted it. And yeah, he has it now. So it's not my plan to do it with all the knitting, but I want to put it in my gift knitting basket this way with the yarn. It's way too much for only the heels, but I have enough sock yarn, so it's okay. And then at the end of the year, when I know to who I want to give, no, not to who, when I know who I want to give these socks, I can measure the right size and do an afterthought heel. So that's really nice. I used Arvetta Filcolana. I did buy it in Prague in the Yarn Queen, at the Yarn Queen, and it was actually a color for in my Prague blanket, my granny square blanket. I will tell you more about it later, or you can watch a previous episode. But I had two color shades that they were so close together, a little bit too close together to use both. So I skipped this one and it was perfect for here. So this will be added to my non-existing gift knitted box. And then I knitted Christmas socks. I think in the beginning of December, I visited a new yarn. No, it's not a new yarn shop in my town, but they moved and now they were on the other side of the city. And it's a yarn shop, not really with the yarns I use, so I never visited it. But now it was quite close, and I wanted to take a look. And it was a very lovely lady, and I didn't need yarn, and most of the yarns are not the yarns I work with, but there was a lot of lovely sock yarn, so I did buy some Christmassy sock yarns, skeins, two. This is one, and the other one I knitted up. I didn't need Christmas socks. It was not on my knitting list, but sometimes it happens. And I did start with the other yarn ball, and I really love the colors on the ball, not on the knitting. It is Lana Grossa Meilenwijd. I don't know the color number. I can't remember. It's on my Ravelry page, I guess. And I did cast on for a lady sock, a female sock, and I use 56 stitches for that. And I did want to use some reindeer brown for the toes, the heels, and the cuffs. I love the color combination. I'm really a brown lover, so adding brown to all my knits, no, not all my knits, but brown is hard jumping for me in all different shades. But when I was knitting, I really was I was really disappointed in this part. I didn't understand what the meaning was of this part, and then it only gets worse. And the other parts I really loved, but this part I thought, what do they want with it? It looks like little moons, and I don't know. It was messy, and I was disappointed in that part. I don't know. I didn't like it. I found it annoying. But then I thought, maybe when I have more stitches on my needle, it is better. It will be better. So maybe when I cast on 64 stitches, the stripes will be smaller, narrower, and maybe then the right effect appears. So I decided to only knit the foot in this yarn, and my plan was to make a reindeer brown leg in a rib stitch, I guess. So it would be Christmassy socks, but a little bit different. So I did knit the toes, and this is enough for a foot in my size. And my plan was to knit the cuff, but I am not sure. I am sure. In the Dutch episode, the reason I am doubting is because this is absolutely not hard jumping to me. I don't like it, and I think it's ugly. And when I knit those socks, I have a pair of ugly socks, and suddenly I realized, why would I spend some time on knitting something ugly I don't like? Why? Just because I started it, do I have to be so hard on myself that I have to finish it because I started it? I don't. I rip out all the time. That's not a problem, but I just don't like it. And I was when I was looking it in my Dutch episode just right before I am filming this right now, I thought, maybe it will be okay. But then I was thinking, to who do I want to gift those socks? I don't want to wear them myself. And can I make somebody else happy with something I don't like? No, was the answer. So I have the solution for all my doubts. I don't want to keep the yarn. I just do live now. I couldn't do it in the Dutch episode because I wanted to show it to you. I'm cutting in it right now. So, hopla. There we go. It's not a waste of yarn. I will put this yarn in my yarn basket. I have a leftover basket with filled with yarn ends, and I always stuff my... This is a fresh new beginning of the year. Don't knit ugly things. I stuff my pillows with it, or my cacti plants. I stuff with it, and so I don't throw it away. But I even don't want to rip it out. The toes, maybe the toes I can reuse, but I don't want to spend time on things I don't like. So there we are. Thank you for watching. I'm very curious if you also have projects which are not hard jumping for you. You don't want to make anymore, but you are too hard on yourself. Maybe you are thinking, oh, but I spent so much time on it, or money for the yarn, or whatever. I'm very I don't throw away yarn. Let me be clear, I don't do that. So I will reuse it, but not in a knitting way, because I just don't like it. And the rest of the yarn ball I did create something good with. So I'm a good girl still. Here they are. This is my second pair of Christmassy socks. these are the men's size, because those socks have 64 stitches. So I did choose brown again, just because it is brown. I did cast on the toe, and then I knit, and I did the red white part. But again, also with 64 stitches, it was not looking good. It was not what I liked. So I ripped out, and then I decided to cut out all those parts. And every time I was at such red white part, I did knit some brown stripes. I did knit 5 rounds of brown, and I'm very happy with that decision, because now I love them really. The only thing I'm not happy with is that these are men's size, because now I want them myself. But it's okay, it's okay. I already have Christmas socks. I don't need a lot of Christmas socks in my life. So I did knit a long tube. Those were connected with no brown in between. Those were connected, and I cut one yarn strand, not the whole sock as I did with that one, but just one yarn strand. And then I picked up the stitches and knitted brown borders, brown cuffs. And now I will, again, this is way too much for 2 heels, but I don't need it for something else. So I will put it in my gift knitting basket, and when at the end of the year, when I want to give when I want to give a man in my life, maybe my own husband. Also, I don't know if he's not really a hand knitted sock lover, so I don't know if he deserves it. But another man in my life, I have so many lovely men in my life, in my family, and my friends, that I can measure the right size and knit an afterthought heel, and then it will be ready. So it's really a good way of knitting. And I think I will save this one. I think those strands of yarn will be perfect for wrapping gifts. So I will put it in my Christmas box. Okay, and this one is left. I didn't have the time for casting on another pair of Christmas socks, so I will put it in the Christmas box too for next year. And I'm very looking forward. It was very nice to have Christmas socks on my needles. It was a bit of a pity that the color combination didn't work out, but someone on Instagram sent me a picture. She knitted her favorite socks in this yarn, and I love the color combination in that yarn. And I also checked the hashtags and all, so this one doesn't have the same problem as the other one, I guess. So that was it for the Christmassy and the festive knitting. I finished it all. It took quite some discipline to really do that last week, because I also wanted to make a New Year's cast on, and I did do that, but not really. The problem is I really love to have several projects on my needles, but there's always one main project. And that's mainly a garment, a sweater or a cardigan, and then I have some socks and hats and blankets and scrappy projects next to it. They are laying all around in my house, so I can pick up and knit or crochet every moment. But there's also always one main project which gets the most knitting or crochet time and attention, and it doesn't work for me when I have 2 of those projects at the same time. So I really, I never really did special cast-ons before. I think it's quite a typical American thing. I guess maybe British, I don't know, but not Dutchy, not in the Netherlands. So I was not used with birthday cast-ons or Christmas cast-ons or New Year's cast-ons. But 2 years ago I did cast on my Avena sweater on New Year's Day, and I don't remember if that was a planned cast-on or it was just accidentally on New Year's Day. But I really loved the idea of starting the new year with a new knitting project. And it was also in the color white. That also really suits the new beginning of a new year, fresh and white. And yeah, it was really feeling good. So I did want to do that this year again. But yeah, my festive pullover was not finished yet. So I found a solution. I did swatch. And I won't deep dive into it. I will do it later. This is my swatch for the Arctic Light sweater from Kutovakika, from Veronica Lindberg. And it is for my youngest girl. She really wanted to have this. Oh, there's a bird walking around on the roof. I thought someone was knocking on the door. I was not sure about the fitting of this sweater, and I was thinking I would prefer the Salty Days sweater, her design, but my daughter really wanted to have this sweater, so okay, I will knit it for you. And I knit it in Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool. I also bought last summer in the lovely yarn store in Friesland in Seldensa. And I finally cast it on. It was my plan to knit it for her birthday. That was in October. It never happened. But I finally cast it on, and I'm very happy I did. I went down 1 needle size because I'm a loose knitter, and I have perfect stitch gauge. So that's very nice. And it was also, when I looked at the chart, the swatching was a part of the cable chart. And when I looked at the chart, I thought, oh my goodness, it looked like Chinese for me. It looked so impressive, and I was knitting it on New Year's morning. We in the Netherlands, we also have Old Year's Day. I don't think you call it like that in other countries. I don't know. Old Year's Day is a traditional day on which we eat oliebollen. Do you have oliebollen in other oil balls? That sounds very weird. Balls made of dough and raisins in very hot oil. And it's a family tradition. My father always bakes them at our place, and we have their family and friends are coming over, and it's one big busy day with all the lovely people, and they are eating a lot of oil balls. I am. So that's very nice. And then we, in the evening, we celebrated New Year with some friends, and it was very nice and very cozy, but also quite exhausting. And only with a few hours of sleep, we went to bed late. And I waked up early, as I always do. I don't sleep. In Dutch we call it uitslapen. Sleep out. Sleep out? No, that's not an English term, I guess. But I'm always awake early, also when I go to bed late. And that was the perfect moment for making a difficult swatch, because there was no one around me. The rest of my family was sleeping still. And I could knit in silence, and I had all my concentration. Although I only had a few hours of sleep, it did work out. And I will deep dive in it later. But it was very fun to knit. And although it looked very impressive, and certainly in the beginning it was, after a few rounds then you are repeating, so then you know, and I did play a little bit with it. But I'm very looking forward to work on the sweater, because it will not be a boring knitting project, absolutely not. So it was very nice and lovely. I did start, but yeah, the reason I really wanted to finish this sweater first, and it took a lot of self-discipline to do that, but I finished this on Saturday, and yesterday I casted on the Arctic Light sweater, and I did start with the ribbing. It's also a folded color, so and it's twisted ribbing, and it's quite funny because in my memory, I do combination knitting, and in my memory, combination knitting is not nice for twisted ribbing, but I don't know why I do think that, because it's not a problem at all. So that's interesting. I really am a knit to purl to lover, so I love the look of this, but not as much as knit to purl to. But my girl, she wants me to follow the pattern and don't do anything I think it's better because she really loved the pattern. So I do. But what I want to show you is that I'm knitting with 2 different needles. I'm knitting with a metal needle and with a bamboo needle, both Chow Gu. I have both the sets. I'm a bit of a loose and messy knitter, so last year I bought a bamboo set too, and I hope that my knitting, my stitch definition would improve, because it was always quite messy. I do knit continental, and I did try to knit English style. I thought maybe it will improve my stitch definition, and it did improve my stitch definition. Stitch definition. Don't say that too fast after each other. But it also took away my knitting pleasure. It was not flowing, and I really found that more important than neat stitches. Having fun is more important. So I thought maybe with bamboo needles it would be better, and I think it's a little bit better, but the difference is not very big. I love the feeling of bamboo needles in my hands. I do prefer the points of the metal needles. I think they work nicer, but that's not the reason why I have two different needles. The reason is that I have my 2.75 needle was a bit damaged, and I don't know, I didn't drop it or whatever, but the point was there was a little hook, a little splinter, I don't know how you call it in English. I did try in my Dutch episode to show it to you from a little bit closer, but my camera, I'm filming on my phone always, it's not zooming in right, so you can't see it, but there was a little hook on my needle. So I did buy where are you? Oh, here. I did buy how do you say it in English? A thing for your nails. You can, no, not polish. Polish is the layer you can put on your nails, the color layer. You can, in Dutch we say this is a veil. You can veil your nails. A veil, no, polish. You can model your nails. The word must be very easy. I'm quite sure you're all saying it to me right now. I can't hear you. I never use it for my nails. I am a very lazy nail person. The only thing I do with my nails is cut them short with just a plain nail scissor. When I'm putting on nail polish, or I don't know, it looks weird. When my nails are growing longer, they get dirty. I don't know. My hands are practical. I have practical nails, and I'm very happy with it. I love it when some people have beautiful, charming nails, but I don't. I'm one of them. And it's okay. So I did buy a nail veil. Shall we call it like that? A nail veil. And I thought maybe I can polish the point of my needle. And I did. It's nice now, but it's also the half of my needle point disappeared, because that's what happens when you do that, and it is okay. Before I started, I was aware of that could be an option, and I always ask myself the question in those kind of situations: am I okay when this fails? And I was okay with it. I thought, let me try. I can always buy a new needle point, and I still have the metal ones, so I don't use 2.75 very often, so it was okay, but it didn't work out. So that's the reason why I use two different needles, and it works out pretty good. I knit with a bamboo needle because I think that is the most important one for my stitch definition, but I'm not sure if I am right. Yeah, it works out pretty good, so I'm happy. So this will be the Arctic Light sweater. I only have to do a few rounds, and then I will knit a color double, and then the pattern tells you to cast on with the backwards loop method with the thumb. I always use for my underarms, but I did try, but I didn't like it, so I ripped it out, and then I went back to my long tail cast on, and yeah, it worked. I don't know. The stitches got all twisted with the back loop method. It's not my way. And yeah, we know that right now. Okay. Oh, I'm very cold. It's very, very cold. Last part, I guess. You can't see my sweater right now. I'm sorry, but I'm so cold. I need a warm cup of tea in my hands. But we are at the end of the video. I have 2 more things to share. Some more yarn. One of the wishes to to not collect too much new yarns in 2024 is not going very well because the yarn is coming and I didn't buy any yarn. I didn't buy. It's all gifted. On All Cheers Eve, the last day of September, we celebrated it with friends. They visited us and they had a little present for me. 2 lovely yarn balls, 2 zauberballen from Shawl. And I really love the zauberbal. They are both sock yarns. Our friends are a family of 4 and I knitted socks for all of them, several socks, and my friend, she really wanted to have more socks and she really asked me several times, oh, would you knit them for me? And I did want to, but it's quite a lot of work. And I also always told her, you should knit them yourself, you should learn to knit them yourself, because I really think she would like it very much. But it never happened, and now they brought 2 yarn balls for me. No, 1 for me and 1 for herself. This color combination, they really thought of my colors. There's a little bit of brown in it, and pink and purple and dark gray, and I really love it. It's called Late Autumn, and this one is more festive. Oh, I forgot to tell it in the Dutch episode. Papegaai. Is it a bird? In Dutch we call it papegaai. What's the word for papegaai in English? Parrot? The bright colored, I think parrot, the bright colored bird. Yeah, I don't know, which can talk. Some of them can. Yeah, it's really, I can really imagine that these colors. Yeah, so these are absolutely not my colors, but I won't. It would be fun to knit those socks for me too, because of I love to knit with the Zauberbal sock yarn. I don't own any socks in it myself, but I did knit for my husband and for my friends and several ones, I guess. So I really would love to have a pair of socks myself. And also, she later texted me. Her idea was that I would knit the toes and the heels, the difficult part, and she would knit the easy parts. And then I told her, you should learn all. You can do that. And she has a little bit of an allergic reaction on her hands when she is working with she's a crocheter. When she's working with a needle or the yarn, she's not very sure which causes the allergic reaction. But she texted me, I do want to learn myself, but she's left-handed. I sent her all the videos how you can knit socks, all the instruction videos, and she answered, but I want to learn it from you. And then I thought, oh, I don't like to learn people knitting. I was a crafting teacher and the children, but when I am learning something new, I always am figuring out myself, and there's a lot you can learn on YouTube. I never follow a workshop or something like that because I don't like it. I'm an alone learner. I want to sit alone and not being disturbed by other people. And also, when my daughter, she's crocheting a lot, and every now and then she asks me something, and I always need to keep her work in my hands. So I grab it out of her hands. Okay, let me see. I can't teach. When I was teaching the children, I also want to hold the work in my own hands, because I need that to understand what is going wrong or what I do have to tell. So it's very difficult for me to teach from a distance. So and with the little children, you can stand behind them and knit together. So that was a little bit easy. But I can do that with my friends or with my daughter. But they wouldn't mind. But still. So I don't know how we will do it. But I really hope she learns knitting socks herself, because I think she really would like it. Sock knitting is one of my most hard jumping things in knitting. For ages I thought that knitting socks would be the hardest thing that exists in the knitting world, because how on earth can you create heels and toes and the shape of a sock? And I absolutely didn't understand it, but I just dived in. And when I dived in, I still didn't understand what I was doing, but at the end I had a sock, and now I do understand, and now I only can think, how could I ever think that it would be so hard? It's such an easy, nice work. So if you learn to knit socks on your wish list, don't be afraid of it. It's not as hard as it seems. Just there are so many instruction videos on YouTube, or maybe if you do like to follow a workshop, or if you do have a knitting friend around you who can teach you, it isn't hard at all. It's such a hard jumping activity, and wearing hand knitted socks is, I wear them all the time in winter. I always wear tights, and oh and that's not going right, and leg warmers. Oh no. Oh, I wanted to show you my socks, and then I saw my phone is quite empty, and I have really no idea if the filming went good, the last part. I really don't know. We have to look it back. Maybe there was no problem, but the screen was looking vague, so I don't know if it worked out. Okay, we shall see. But the other thing I received was these lovely vintage brown cotton yarn balls from a Dutch... Oh, and the doorbell rings. That's a package. Moment. Okay, back again. That was the postman at the door, and now I did check my phone, and there went nothing wrong with filming. Lucky me. I always put my phone on the charger when I'm filming, but I am out of routine after 3 weeks, and I didn't do it. And then there was a notification that my phone was empty, and I wasn't sure if the phone filmed during that notification. So suddenly I panicked. I want to show you my hand knit socks, and I was laying there. that went a little bit wrong. But suddenly I thought, oh, am I talking for nothing? For how long? But that didn't happen. It's all good. Okay, so I received these. Where was I? Yeah, I was here. I received these lovely vintage cotton yarn balls from a Dutch knitter and crocheter, I guess. She sent me a message on Instagram, and she said those balls were gifted to me by a colleague, and I don't use brown, but I was thinking of you. Can I send them to you? Do you want them? And I thought that was so sweet of her, and I really love the shade of dark brown cotton, but also the vintage label. I'm quite sure it's from the thrift store. It smells like thrift store. It's not smelling bad. It's a little bit of an old smell, but in a good way. I really love thrift store, so that's good. So it is quite some yarn, and I really am happy with it. And I was thinking, what shall I make from it? And then suddenly I had a good idea. I was taking a picture on my desk, and then my eye fell on the pillow on my chair. It's laying next to me. I think not last year, maybe the year before, I don't know. I made this pillow of crocheted granny squares, and in the summer of 2022 I did some walking crocheting. I started crocheting granny squares while I was walking, because that was the only thing. Some people are knitting socks while they are walking, I are hiking, maybe, I don't know. I think I'm more walking. In the Netherlands you can't hike a lot because we have a flat country. Crocheting granny squares was the only thing I could do while I was walking without getting hurt. And it was my plan to make a blanket, but I didn't really love the look of it. And then I decided, oh, I can make a pillow cover of it, and then it will be a pillow. So I put in 2 pillows, so it's really nice and thick, and I really love to have it at my back. I always love to knit or crochet with a pillow in my back, because then my the way I sit, my holding, it's better. I have a straight back, and that's better for my position, I guess. So it's really nice, but I don't love the look of it. There's too much blue in it. There are some colors I really don't like. There are some colors I really do like, but a lot of I don't like. That's not my color combination. So every time I'm taking a picture for my Instagram, this pillow, I don't like it. I don't want it to be on the pictures. And suddenly I thought, would that change when it would be all dark brown squares? And I thought, yeah, I love dark brown. So I think I will rip out. Now I don't know what to do with it. I need the pillows. I don't want to buy new pillows. So I would rip out this part, and then yeah, it's yeah, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know. But I have a lovely idea for some granny squares, not plain granny squares, a little bit different, and in dark brown cotton, and then I don't have to remove the pillow for my pictures, because it's hard jumping, and I only want hard jumping things on my picture. And in my life, actually. So that's my plan, and there will be a lot left, so we shall see what we can do with that. Okay, then the last little thing, but very important thing for me, is that I have added something new to my YouTube channel. You can subscribe. No, not subscribe. You can be a member of my YouTube channel. If you follow my episodes for quite a while, you've heard me talking about the Instagram subscriptions. That was new in the Netherlands in October, I guess, and I really love the idea of a subscription part on several reasons. It's really nice to have a bit of a closed group you can share things with, not all over the world, but with only people who are really interested in it, and also it's really nice financial to have some support. I don't have a paid job, and it's really nice to earn some money with talking about my knitting and crochet. I did start the subscription on Instagram, but there were you can't have several levels, so I only could do it in one language, and I choose to do it in Dutch. But I really want to do it in English too, but yeah, I had to make the choice. And there was also, it's not available for everybody. There are some Dutch people. It's really nice. I'm really having fun there. It's really nice to share extra episodes and some posts and stories on Instagram. But not everybody who wants to be part of is allowed to be part of it. And I don't know why. I don't know. It's not working, and it's very annoying because, I want everybody's welcome, and it's not, I can't do anything in it. So I was searching for another option, and you have Patreon and you have YouTube and maybe several other options. And I decided I want to try it on YouTube. So I have a membership on YouTube since a few days. It's called Hard Jumping Friday, I guess. Hard Jumping Friday. And you can be a member, and you pay for that. So be aware of that. And I try to keep the price quite low. It will be €4 a month. And for those €4, I will make an extra video for you every week, a Hard Jumping Friday video, and it will be not an editing video. It will be more a sit at the coffee, a sit and at the kitchen table episode, or maybe here. It's not the place, but just a little chat with a knitting friend, a one-way chat, because I'm the one who's chatting, but that's not a lot of difference with real life, I am afraid. But I also will answer questions there. I will tell more about my crafty adventures during the week, but I also will answer your questions about my knitting, of my crocheting, about my project, but also about your projects, or about what you want to know from me, or about my life in the Netherlands, whatever. I will do the answering questions there. I never answer questions. on another place because it's too time consuming, but to give you the option to get some answers from me, I will create a place there, and you are more than welcome. And it will be in English, that part. So that's nice for everyone. And when it's working good, and I am trying it and it all works good, I will quit the Instagram subscriptions and I will add a Dutch level too. But I wanted to be sure that it works out pretty good. So if you like to see more of me, to hear more from me, to wanted to know me better or whatever, or how I think about things, and let me be clear, I'm just a normal knitter. I'm not an advanced knitter or whatever, so I'm not a knitting teacher for you, but I really love to talk about knitting and about the life lessons I discovered through my knitting and crochet, and I just love to talk. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So there is a little introduction video. You can jump in right now immediately and add your questions, and this Friday will be the first video, and I'm very looking forward to the Heart Jumping Friday video. It will be a challenge to do it in English. But yeah, it will be Dutchy English, so if you are looking still right now, you will not mind, I guess. So that was enough for today. I wish you a very, very, very nice week with hopefully a lot of heart-jumping moments, with a lot of nice knitting and crochet time. And I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next week. Or maybe this Friday, that would be lovely. That would be heart-jumping for me. Okay, bye-bye.